So is this how long is this one, you guys?
How long?
Hey, welcome back to Autism Live. We heard you. Everybody wants
macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, but we're gonna make it allergy free. But here's what's the crazy part of this macaroni and cheese. It's actually healthy.
And it tastes good.
Yeah, it tastes really good.
That's the most important part.
So we're gonna start, we got our water boiling. There's so many variations on the pasta. We're using today a corn pasta. We can verify with the manufacturer that we have a GMO-free product. So let's go ahead and put that in there.
Ooh,
And if you don't mind, stir that up for
Sure.
me, my friend.
Now it's sticking a little bit to the bottom.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
We maybe add a little more high heat oil and spread that around again. One thing you gotta know about gluten-free pasta, if you overcook this, it becomes mush. Let's move this guy over to the other burner so you can see what I'm doing. And now we're gonna start with the old macaroni and cheese sauce. What's great is there's a lot of choices for, you know, different soups. And the way that I look at soups, and again, please follow the recipe on your screen right now. I don't like to measure very often. But what I like to use is a creamy butternut squash soup. So this soup is great because it adds a lot of flavor to the dish, but also gives people another serving of vegetables. With kids, we don't want to over season. Maybe with the adults, we can season some for the kids first, pull it out, serve them, and then add a little more, you know, garlic powder or onion powder or other types of things into your dish. So the next most important thing on this recipe is we're gonna add in a thickener and the faux cheese. Now some people like their sauce really thick, so you just add in more cornstarch or more arrowroot, so that's not a big deal. How's that doing? You think it's ready?
I think it's done.
Okay, so why don't we switch? I'll take
Okay.
that, you do that.
Okay.
And I'm going to strain this bad boy here. Here, let me turn that off.
Okay.
Or we're gonna cause trouble again.
Trouble in Lisa's
Yeah,
kitchen.
no.
That's another show.
Don't, yeah, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all strained. It's a good consistency. So I'm gonna check to make sure our pasta is cooked. So really you just wanna make sure, just like any pasta, it's a little bit squeezy, a little bit. Nice. Dude, good job. We're
Yay.
good.
Looks yummy.
So even though the cheese is not totally melted, it's okay, don't panic. What's important is that you're gonna love this recipe once you eat it. What I enjoy most about this recipe is that it smells good, but this stuff
perfect.
is amazing. So if you don't mind, I'm going to serve you some up and you can maybe blow a little bit on it so you don't burn your mouth. Sorry, I'm once a mom,
I
always
was
a
like,
mom.
just like we tell our kids.
I know, right?
God, I can't wait. I'm excited.
So I'm gonna give a shot of this too, but
Oh my gosh, that is so good.
this is the ultimate comfort food. So
Oh, it's so
Isn't
good.
it good?
And I'm not just saying that. It is really good. It literally tastes like something our kids would really like. And that sweetness is really, really, really good.
So the bonus for us is that when we're serving this to our kids, they're actually getting a full serving of vegetables in this. So instead of just eating a bunch of carbs and worthless calories, you're actually getting some good stuff in this. And we'll be back next time. I hope you join us again here on Autism Live. We're really loving the feedback, and if you have additional feedback, here's how you get it to us. You can send it to us via email at autismlive@gmail.com. On Facebook, facebook.com/autismlive. And also there's thousands of recipes waiting for you to discover them with pictures and different things on the Taka website. So you can hit Taka on the web, takanow.org, and we'll be back. Hopefully we'll get to do this again.
I had so much
Maybe
fun.
we'll have a little wine, but you got to join us next time. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Bye, guys. We're going to keep eating.
You say howdy, we say hi. Let's get rowdy, let's get wild. Let's get wild.
Back to Autism Live and to Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. We have with us on the phone via Skype Ian Jordan. He's coming to us from Scotland. And he's been talking with us about visual issues and specifically how they relate to autism, although we've been talking about how it relates to everyone. He has an amazing book out that I want to encourage everybody to get, A Parent's Guide to Vision in Autism Spectrum Disorder. We promised when we came back, Ian, that we would talk about synesthesia. I think this is something that a lot of us don't quite have a handle on what it is. So what, in fact, is synesthesia?
Of the sensory system.
Okay.
So you might smell in color, or you might taste, and the taste may become a smell. That's probably a more reasonable one. Maybe the taste becomes a touch. You might get, for instance, you might touch somebody's hand, and they may not feel it in the hand. They may feel it in the stomach, or they might smell it, or they might hear a sound. And so a lot of the children we're dealing with, you can't necessarily trust their sensory inputs, and they can't trust the sensory inputs either. So, for instance, if it's a common type of synesthesia would be where you saw flashing lights and you may hear sounds as a response to that. So in Scotland, my wife, for instance, has synesthesia, and when she sees flashing lights, she hears bangs. And in Scotland, we have snow lorries, in bad weather, and they have yellow lights on them. So she hates following them.
And so, if I could ask a question, is sometimes do people see text when spoken word is happening?
Yes.
Okay, because that's what I have occasionally, and that's what my son has occasionally.
Well, what's happening there is, let's take it the other direction. When you're reading text, you're seeing words on the page. They have to be then converted into language somehow or other. What you've got is the opposite way around. You've got words getting transferred into text. It's a crossover where things go the wrong direction.
Okay. So that is synesthesia.
That's a form of synesthesia. There's lots of different types.
Okay. And so sometimes this could be a plus, but I could see where sometimes it could work as a negative.
It can be horrible. It can be absolutely horrendous. And one of the things that sometimes happens in autism is somebody might be ill, but they can't tell you, they're not feeling pain. They might be feeling something funny, but they don't actually know what it is or where it is. And it's quite a common thing in autism, this. The parent eventually learns to recognize the child where the pain is. Now, it can be horrendous. It can be quite a dangerous thing too, because sometimes the pain is not felt as pain. It may be smelt. We have patients, for instance, we have one girl who, the only way of getting rid of pain for her is to actually put various colored lights on her. It was quite a problem when she was having a baby. We eventually found a way of doing it for her without it being sort of weird, but
right.
But it was an interesting time. That particular girl also gets a thing called zoomorphopsia, where people turn into animals. So she actually sees them physically turn to animals, and that's quite
fascinating.
We see that about once a month in our practice with people on the spectrum. Now, the problem we've got is normally people have vision as a reference sense. All the other senses sort of rely on the vision for learning. You learn to look at a banana, and you know what it is, and you can smell it, and you're going to associate the smell, the color, the taste with what you've seen. So vision usually is the reference sense. But in autism, sometimes that reference can't be trusted. And things become, that's why so many children on the spectrum have massive sensory processing problems. It's why they can't sometimes walk properly. Why, for instance, it might surprise you, one of the best treatments for the problems at the hairdressers, when the autistic child has a problem with the pain of the hairdresser, is to use the vision. It's a very common way of sorting it out. And it works nearly every single time.
And is it's just a pair of glasses that you have them put on and then suddenly it's okay?
Maybe glasses. Sometimes we change the lighting.
Okay.
Occasionally we do other things as well. But in general terms, we'll teach people how to visualize, for instance. if they're capable of doing that, because you can visualize away things by using things like the mirror neurons, and it becomes quite a concept when you're teaching people who are to try and understand their own body. Because what often happens is we get people coming in, they really don't trust the senses. And I think that's probably the best thing. Autism, you could almost say, is a condition where the person who has autism can't trust the sensory inputs or outputs. That's quite a strong.
It's an amazing, different way of looking at autism that is very exciting to me. I could talk to you for hours. Unfortunately, we're pretty much out of time. I wonder if you could tell people where they can go to get more information. Obviously, we want to tell them about the book, A Parent's Guide to Vision in Autism Spectrum Disorder. It's available on Amazon, incredibly cheap right now. But what is your website that they can go to find out more information?
My practice website is www.jordanseyes.com.
And is it spelled EYES or is it
EYES?
AYES. Okay.
Or E for Edward.
Okay. And so really want to encourage people, and we have said during the break, we're going to have you back and spend a little bit more time. Because this is, I feel like we've just scratched the surface here, but I really am excited to put it out there to parents and to individuals who are on the spectrum watching the show to think about, have a conversation with people on the spectrum and off the spectrum about what do you see, how do you see it, what happens to you, because I think that's the beginning of the conversation. And then we've got to talk to you more and get you in more places in the world so people can get checked and see if there's something that could help them in real time.
I'd be delighted. I'd also be delighted if someone wants to come and sit in the practice. I'm delighted to have people coming in professionals to come and spend a day with us.
Wonderful.
It's very helpful. Okay.
Wonderful. So exciting. Thank you so much for being with us. You've really opened my eyes. No pun intended.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.